Well, it's a huge topic. And look, I mean, there's a long history to this, okay? The idea that credit distribution, not just creation of money in credit, but just the specific distribution thereof, the idea that that should be to some extent, if not completely, controlled by the government. I mean, gosh, that discussion has been going on forever. And one of the more eloquent presentations of the socialist side of that is that money and credit should be socially created and distributed, was, of course, Karl Marx. And the creation of a centralized system of money and credit was one of the planks of his Communist Manifesto. And so here we have, the UK government saying, well, hold on, not only should the banking system create money, but the distribution thereof should be controlled by the government, at least in certain respects. And so really, we're just traveling another milestone down Friedrich Hayek's road to serfdom here with respect to the money and credit system. And who didn't see this coming? We've been on this road for a long time. I mean, this is just the next installment, the next increment, the next milestone, as I said. So it doesn't surprise me at all. This is the way money and credit policy has been trending for an awfully long time. The government share of the economy, and yes, of course, that implies the government share of the use of money creation and credit creation and distribution. The government share of the economy is much higher today than it was a generation or two generations ago. And of course, when Fredric Hayek wrote his Road to Serfdom in the immediate aftermath of World War II, he did it as a warning saying, hey, you guys may think now that we can demobilize all of this war economy, which is effectively socialized, right? That we can demobilize it now and dismantle it and go back to something that is a more, traditional capitalist, free market, private system. But actually, maybe you won't choose to do that. Maybe you'll choose to make a peaceful socialist state out of the warlike one that was necessary to prosecute the war. And obviously, those predictions have been proven correct. And this is just the most recent example thereof.
Yeah, it does feel like we are progressing along the road by leaps and bounds, whereas previously we'd maybe only just
So
been
whether
walking down.
it's inflationary or not, I mean, it probably is, because the fact is that public entities have less skin in the game, right? They're less accountable for their mistakes than private entities. Are private entities going to overinvest? Are they going to malinvest? Are they going to make stupid decisions? Okay, they might now and again, but they'll learn from those. They'll do better next time and they'll move on. Whereas the public sector, when they make a bad decision, they double down. They create even more money. They create even more credit. They throw even more money around to make it look like, oh, gee, we're actually doing more to fix this problem, which, of course, maybe they created in the first place. That's inflationary. Misallocation of resources is inflationary. Papering it over with more money and credit is inflationary. Whereas allowing private sector entities that make mistakes to suffer the consequences and potentially go bankrupt is not inflationary. It's clear we've moved from one world to the other.